Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Blue Corner, and it is the moment that I know a couple of people have been waiting for, and that is to see my deck profile for Cardfight Vanguard's Narukami Kaiser build, i.e. Vermilion, Crimson, and now Warning, all being a cohesive archetype, which of course makes me super happy because, as some people know, Vermilion is my single favorite card in this game, and the fact that he's not only been improved upon, but is actually the second best Narukami deck out there is crazy. Like, in terms of like power, I'd put this deck on the same level as Overlord. As Overlords. Like, I'm talking Dodex here, and that's just because now that Warning is a thing, this deck can apply pretty much the same kind of pressure that the Ace can do, except you're not restanding, you're just swinging with giant ass side columns, which will eat mostly the same amount of hand. And in addition to Narukami just being a more aggressive deck, better suited for the current format. I've talked about it ad nauseum, that kind of stuff in the past, but yeah, long story short, this deck is very good. It's just unfortunately difficult to build because Vermilion himself is rather pricey and hard to find, and a lot of set 2 cards are starting to become difficult to find too, i.e. Conquest Dragon. He's not cheap. Anyway, so for the units, I'm running 4 copies of Dragonic Kaiser Crimson, 3 Vermilion, and 1 Vanquisher for my 3s. The one of Vanquisher just allows me to make use of the Stride Break, as picking off a front and rear guard when you stride is pretty okay. He sets up Conquest by himself, and his Generation Break 2 skill to gain 3k and a crit when you retire something through an effect comes up now and then. But more often than not, you're going to be on some kind of Kaiser Vanguard, as you have a grade 1 and a Stride now that works with these guys. Crimson is your go-to guy, as his Limit Break makes this guy's Limit Break free, and free Thunderbolts every turn is ridiculous. Plus the ability to Soul Blast to gain 2k when you have a unit in the center column comes up frequently, allows you to set up your drop zone for Legion if you don't have enough cards, or allows you to make use of, say, Soul Charging Malevolent Djinn to power up a rear guard, then you Soul Blast that thing off, and then you Legion it back in. And allows you to make not feel off. Well, allows you to take advantage of riding a Preferred Guard G early, so you can just Soul Blast it, put it in drop zone, and now you can inflict damage when you use your other Perfect Guards. So yeah, those are your main guys. Vermilion, you don't want to be on very often. There are games though where he will be your ideal ride, i.e. against someone who's trying to grade stuck you, such as Ripples. Then this is the more ideal ride because his Limit Break actually can be used. And he's still a Kaiser Vanguard that allows you to attack a side and potentially power up your Crown Holder Dragons. So that's it for the 3s. For the 2s, my lineup hasn't changed at all since last time. So 4 Death Scythes, because Berserk Dragon clones in G area are very good, especially in a deck like this that doesn't burn Counterblast with its main boss monsters. So being able to CB2 snipe just about everything on the board is really good. On ride snipe, on rear snipe, sets up Conquest. This thing's stupid good now. And part of me, I'm still dealing with a cold. 4 copies of Shatura, beefy 11k attacker. He invalidates Dusty Plasma Dragon in this deck as far as I'm concerned. Applies pressure, lets you draw cards, and mess up the drop zone, although most decks don't really Legion these days. But still, taking away Perfect Guard G's is okay. And lastly, 3 copies of Voltage Torn Dragon. So I already said I don't like Dusty Plasma Dragon in here, as the problem I have with Dusty Plasma is he requires a Vermilion Vanguard, not a Kaiser Vanguard, which means unless you're in Legion or on Vermilion, he's a 9k beatstick. And there are going to be games where you're either on Vanquisher or you're going to be on Crimson, but not in Legion, and just striding with Legion with Crimson. So most of the time, Dusty Plasma is not a 12k attacker, he's just 9k. At least with this thing, when I'm striding, I can kill things for Counterblast 1, set up Vanquisher's Generation Break 2 skill, and granted, I might try Demonic Dragon Berserker Garuda for the damage on flip on hit, but I don't really like the idea of running an on hit grade 2, but we'll see. Then for the 1s, 4 Perfect Guard G, unflipping's nice to have, and I don't have to deal with the cross in my area, or Laurel the deck. Laurel the clan, actually. 4 copies of Crown Holder Dragon. This is probably what puts in the most work so far, as when your Kaiser Vanguard hits a unit, you power himself and another unit by 2k. So it's 4 to a column per Vermilion hit, or potentially 6, potentially 8 or 12 if you hit a full 3 things. Or you can just spread it out, just 2 here, or 4 here, 4 here, powering up 2 columns by 4. He's really great when your opponent is trying to play the grade 2 stuck game, because you can just attack with your Vermilion or your Crimson, hit something. This guy powers up a line by 4, so now you're swinging with at minimum 20,000. This is in front behind a 9k Vanguard, rear guard. Whoops, you're swinging 20k to 19. So every turn that your Vermilion or your Crimson hits something, you're going to be forcing out 15k guards, which is nice against next to try and lock you up too. And in addition to that, 3 copies of Egghelm Draco Kid to enable my limit break early and often. Since you have a rear guard that allows you to power up for each one of Vermilion's Thunderbolt hits, being able to Thunderbolt while in Legion but not at 4 damage is very nice. And lastly, 3 stride breaks. Then for the zeros, it's the same as before. So 4 Jin, 4 of another critical, 4 draw, 4 heal, and for my starter, Saishin, because killing your opponent's starter is very detrimental to a lot of decks these days, as starters either enable combos or allow them to extend their combos, such as Andre or Miles and such forth. Then for the strides, let's just get the big guy right out of the way. So 2 copies of Conquering Supreme Dragon, Dragonic Kaiser, Warning. Warning is a better and worse Conquest Dragon, as if your opponent has a full front row, then he's amazing, but if they have no front row, then he's awful. His effect is Counterblast 1, Generation Break 2, Persona Flip. He gains the ability to attack the entire front row, and for each hit he makes, you power up 2 of your rear guards by 5k. So you can either power up a column by 10, or power up 2 columns by 5. If you hit 3 things, that's plus 15. If you have 2, that's 10, and if you hit 1, that's 5, which I think is really awful. But he more or less allows you to hit for numbers that are bigger than Conquest when Conquest is not the ideal play, because the thing that I've noticed a long time ago with Conquest is using him when your opponent has a full front row and you can't kill something prior. So using Conquest for 1 for a 5k to the front is really weak, and I think it feels like a minus when you use him and you can't get the full 10k. So Warning comes in for those situations where you can't Conquest for 10 power, and in that instance, he's more or less just like your third Conquest, or your first Conquest. But it's a very good finisher for this deck if you get the full value out of it. But plus 15 to your sides is no joke. And with Crown Holder Dragon, plus 12 there, you're potentially, you're powering up your side columns by plus 27,000, which is no joke. Like, Brawlers will be able to hit for those kind of numbers when we get Secret Fist Kokon next weekend. This weekend, actually, because we're getting the set on Friday, But yeah, Warning is a very welcome addition to the deck, and him being out pretty much invalidates Dragonic Vanquisher Voltage for this deck, which is what I was going to initially run in this slot. But yeah, now that this guy's out, Voltage is useless. 4 copies of Conquest Dragon, Narakami's WinCon, and always has and always will be. This is what allows you to just push for game. If they survive the first one, chances are they're going to have a hard time dealing with the second one. And lastly, 2 copies of Lightning Dragon Knight Zoras, because Narakami doesn't have very many good first ride options. Brawlers have Turbo, and that's another thing that deck has that this deck doesn't. And I'm really hoping someday we do get something that just allows you to G-flip by himself without having to on-hit, and doesn't require Noble Rearguards too. Like, I would run Vishnu if it didn't require Noble Rearguards, but anyway. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video on my avatar once more post Fighters Collection. I'm hoping that eventually there will be more support for the Kaiser deck itself, as I would love to see either something akin to Dragonic Burnout or that new Nahalem. I just want a 9k grade 2 that says if you have a Kaiser Vanguard, he becomes 11k. And I don't know, if he hits, kill something, or if your Vanguard hits, he gains 2k and powers up another rearguard by 2k. I can see them doing that. If they do, awesome. Then that means my side columns get plus 24,000 when I Thunderbolt for 3, plus a 15 with Warning. Ooh, that makes me just feel super happy. But yeah, that's all I got for this. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As far as what you can expect to see in the future, Brawlers are probably going to be the next deck I work on, as I only need a couple commons out of the set to finish them, followed by Eradicators, followed by Vanquisher, and then hopefully Gear Chronicle. I have most of the cards I need for that deck. I just have to pick up cards out of the next set and Fighters Collection still. But yeah, that's pretty much a wrap for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, this is Booster99, jacking out.